Alright. Hello again. This is Moraduke. Here to put a video on my channel that's unfortunately stagnating. Just don't have time, man. Wish I had more time to make more content on here. But anyway, we are in the middle of summer, which also means we're in the aftermath of yet another E3. That happened almost exactly 1 month ago, because this is like my 5th attempt to try and make this video. So what I'm going to do, I just have a few notes here. I'm just going to share my thoughts on it, since I went ahead and typed out all my notes. I have a good 12 pages here, but I'm just going to skim through them, just give my general consensus of, what I thought about E3 2014. And if I could describe E3 2014 in one word, it would be transparent. I don't know if that's the best word to describe it, but that's the word that immediately popped in my head, so we're just going to roll with it. A lot of what was shown at E3 was either an HD remake or like concept footage of stuff that might be cool to play 2 or God forbid 3 years from now. So, it was a lot of teasers. It was like going to a really good restaurant and they had a really fucking good appetizer, but of course your main entree never came out and you left starving and sad and all that jazz. So I watched this on Spike TV this year, the first day at the major conferences on June 9th. For better or for worse, since we don't have G4 anymore. Speaking of G4, Adam Sessler was among Jeff Keighley's little panel there that talked before the Microsoft conference started. That was the first one that started at 12:30, as you all know. Good to see Adam Sessler again, since he pretty much retired from games journalism permanently at this point. I miss seeing him on Rev3 Games, which I subscribed to definitely less than a year ago. I loved his reviews on there. I loved his Google Hangout videos, especially, where he actually invited people in and talked to them for like an hour or so, like to a group of people that came in one at a time. That was really cool, but man, he's probably been doing this shit for like 20 years. Guy, you're going to get burned out if you do the same thing over and over again for that long, so I wish him all the best. Definitely one of my more, trusted game journalists that I've, experienced content throughout the years. So, yeah, man, I remember, I don't miss G4 all that much, but I do miss Tech TV. Remember Tech TV? I remember when Adam Sessler, before X-Play came in and he was joined with Morgan Webb, how he just did extended play. It was just him and a camera. One guy and a camera, that was it. I remember Leo Laporte and Patrick Norton on the Screensavers, where Morgan Webb was just like an intern who got like a screen time for maybe 60 seconds once in a while. And that was the good old days, man. I remember Kat Schwartz and Leo Laporte on Call for Help. I miss that fucking channel, man. But, I miss a lot of the 90s. Wish we need to get some necromancy shit going on here and bring the 90s back. Well, maybe not all of it. I don't miss the boy band craze and the internet speeds from the 90s, where you plug the phone line into your computer to get online and pages loaded really, really fucking slow. And, if you wanted to download a demo of a game, you could take a shit faster than it would finish, and your modem sounded like it was strangling a cat when you went on America Online. The good old days. But anyway, enough about that. Adam Sessler now works for Theoryhead Inc., the caption showed on Spike TV. I had to look that up. It's a consultancy firm for entertainment and media, according to Wikipedia. So, more power to him. And, I got to thinking, what happened, with Morgan Webb after G4 shut down? Because I remember watching the last episode of X-Play. Morgan now actually works, I had to look this up too, she's a consultant and creative director for Activision Blizzard. Moving on up in the world. Where she also produces and hosts Blizzard's monthly World of Warcraft discussion program, WoW Source. So Blizzard, I think she's making pretty good bank over there. Then we get new gameplay footage. Before the Microsoft conference is shown, a few announcements. Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor looks alright. If you took a game in the Lord of the Rings universe and made a third-person action game, you took the Batman Arkham games and you put it in a blender with Assassin's Creed, and you press puree on that motherfucker. That's basically what it looks like. Assassin's Creed in the Lord of the Rings universe, so I have to see more info on it, as it gets closer to release. And that's pretty much going to be the case for pretty much everything here. Looks kind of cool, want to see more of it. So let that be a very common theme for this E3. Homefront: The Revolution comes out. Looks like every other FPS, but it's pretty much free money for Crytek since they bought the trademark from the THQ bankruptcy auction or whatever for peanuts. So more power to them. It's free money, so for a developer, hey, go for it, I guess. Then a little text blurb, like a scrolling caption came across the screen. Titanfall 2 is announced to be multi-platform without a video or anything. Okay. Not really a big surprise, but that's it. You won't hear about that anywhere else in E3. What systems is it going to be on? Is it even being made? Is it in development? Is Respawn making it? I'm guessing so. Like, you just don't drop kind of a bombshell like that and just, leave it at that. So, yeah, Titanfall 2 is a thing, and it's going to be multi-platform, and that's it. No screenshots, no concept footage, no release date, nothing. So, apparently Respawn, on the very limited research I did on this, apparently Respawn wasn't aware of it and aren't happy about the decision they weren't a part of, which is typical EA, Do things the shareholders want and just, keep cracking that fucking whip on the developers to have them put out this vision that shareholders, who are extremely out of touch with people who actually fucking buy and play video games, what make their vision come to life and not ours, but whatever. Then we get into Microsoft. That started at 12:30, and I just wanted to say before I get into this, I like what Phil Spencer's doing with the Xbox brand. I think it's doing very well now. A lot of 180s. The Xbox One went through a lot of crap, as it rightfully did. I mean, I enjoy the Xbox systems, but, even I'll admit that they had a lot of missteps and hiccups and all that. But I think it's finally on track to be a great system. As you all know, they made the Kinect separate now, which was kind of, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, if you're going to drop $400 on an Xbox One, you might as well spend the other 100 and get the whole enchilada, where you can actually, do Kinect sign-in, where the Kinect camera sees you and signs in your profile automatically. You can do the voice commands with your TV and all that shit. If you don't have a Kinect, you can't do that. So, really, what's the point? But if it gets more players playing on the Xbox platform, I guess it's worth it from a financial business standpoint, I guess. They took the entertainment apps out of the live paywall. That's cool, so you don't need gold membership to watch Netflix and Hulu anymore. And they also brought the games with gold to the Xbox One platform, finally, after having it on the Xbox 360 for so long. But you're still getting the 2 free games a month for the Xbox 360, and you're getting 1 or 2 free games a month for the Xbox One. So that's pretty cool. As long as you have a gold membership, and as long as you download it while it's available to download for free on your gold account, then you're golden. See what I did there? But yeah, it started in June, so Halo, Spartan Assault, and Max the Curse of Brotherhood were the first 2 games I downloaded, and this month Guacamelee came out, so I have all 3 of those on my hard drive. Didn't really use them, but Halo, Spartan Assault isn't available anymore. That was like the first game in the first half of June where you should have got that. But even though it's not available anymore, I booted it up the other day after it went off of the Games with Gold program, and it still works. So as long as you download these games within that period that they're available for free, you can still play them as long as you're a Gold subscriber. That's really cool. They're also doing discounts with games on the Xbox Live Store. So they're really being competitive with Sony, since Sony does the same exact stuff with the PSN, the free games and the discounts and all that. So that's really cool. So as long as he keeps going on this right track, and he keeps listening to feedback, and he keeps staying competitive with Sony, things are looking really, really good. But yeah, I think it's doing really well, and that's what happens when you get rid of the poison that is Don Mattrick. I mean, there's tools. That guy had the master key to the fucking tool shed, okay? Don't get me started on Don Mattrick. Fucking piece of shit at Zynga. Fucking, I want to take fucking bales of hay from Farmville, and I want to shove the fucking hay so far up his ass he has to floss with it the next morning. What an asshole. Oh, we got a system for our overseas guys are in the military who don't have an internet connection. It's called the Xbox 360. Great sales pitch, fucktard. And I think I read somewhere, to add fuel to the fire, that even though Zynga's losing money, big shock there, who fucking cares about Zynga anymore, but He made like this gigantic bonus. I think it was something insane, like $80 million. I don't know the exact quote because as soon as I saw it, I had to block it out of my mind because I was going to torch whatever place I was in as soon as I found out about it. That's proof there is no God. Yeah. Don Matrick is just made more money in maybe a year than most people will make in their entire lives. God damn it. Sometimes I just want to see the world burn. I mean, no offense, but can you blame me with everything going on right now? But that's for another video. So we get into Microsoft. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, right out of the gate, you knew it was coming, but Phil Spencer kind of put a fun little twist on it. It's like, okay, here's the big blockbuster you were expecting, here's Call of Duty, you all knew it was coming, but let's get this shit out of the way first. I like that. Call of Duty, man, like I knew, like Titanfall's a great game, I still play Titanfall, and I fucking knew these motherfuckers were going to rip off Titanfall in some way. And they did. The trailer is shown, like a gameplay trailer, but it's Call of Duty. Like, do you really need to watch a gameplay trailer to know what Call of Duty's going to play like? Come on. So it starts out, they're in a ship, they're trying to make an emergency landing or some shit, there's quick time events, blah, blah, blah. Then they finally get to the surface of whatever future ruined city they're in, and the guy starts shooting people, and he pulls out, like, it's basically the carbine from Titanfall. It's almost identical. Not only that, but to add insult to injury, when they're running deeper into the city, he passes right by a Titanfall dropship. You know those drop pods where the militia and the specters, like the AI soldiers, come out of them? He passes, like, it's identical. It's exactly the same. Like some motherfucker from Sledgehammer Games, or whoever's making this, turd, snuck into Respawn's Entertainment, their studios, and, like, with a fucking USB drive and like copied some of the assets on Titanfall and just pasted them right in the motherfucker. And we all know Call of Duty does copy and paste jobs. So I mean, it's not that far-fetched if you really think about it. But yeah, shameless ripoff. But I mean, if kids are going to give you literally $1 billion in profit on this piece of crap, why improve anything? Why do anything new? It's a guaranteed cash cow. But finally, I think with Ghosts, the last one that came out, this series is finally in decline. I can't fucking wait for this series to be over. Because if we all know Activision, just like with Tony Hawk and shit, they're gonna bleed that. They're like a swarm of 1 million ticks on a moose. Like, there's gonna be nothing left of that motherfucker if there's even a penny to be had. So, that's Call of Duty. Call of Duty still sucks. I'm not playing Call of Duty ever again. I really have nothing more to say about it. Stop playing Call of Duty. Play something actually good for a change, please. Forza Horizon 2 was announced, confirmed 1080p, looks pretty cool. September 30th it drops. Post-conference footage reveals that the game will take place in Southern Europe instead of Colorado, like the first game. So it's a little more expansive. The Drivatar from Forza 5 returns. It looks really beautiful. I haven't really played Forza. I played like old school Gran Turismo games and I kind of enjoyed those, but I really got to get into Forza because word on the street that I've seen and read is that Forza kind of overtook Gran Turismo back when like the first two Forza games came out. So I got to check into that. You'll hear me saying that a lot too. Like, yeah, I heard this game was awesome. Don't have time to play it, unfortunately. Sucks. Evolve was shown next. That's by Turtle Rock Studios, the Left 4 Dead guys, if you've ever played Left 4 Dead. Looks pretty cool. It looks very similar to Left 4 Dead. I watched some post-conference footage after this conference that, it differentiates itself enough from Left 4 Dead to stand out, but it's always a gamble with like these mid-tier kind of multiplayer games. Like if it's not Battlefield or Call of Duty or Titanfall or Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, like the Valve multiplayer games, if it's anything that's not those, like these questions immediately pop into my head. Okay, well, if it's multiplayer centric, is it really going to stand out? How many people are going to buy it? And how fast, if at all, is it going to last? So it's a really big gamble with these games, but it looks alright. Assassin's Creed Unity is shown. Take any Assassin's Creed game, put 4-player co-op in it, that's Assassin's Creed Unity. Not really much else to say about that. Sunset Overdrive. Microsoft's really pushing this game really hard. It looks kind of cool. Insomniac has a pretty good track record. Ted Price himself was there to show off some more gameplay. The only problem I have with Sunset Overdrive is I have to see it more. They gotta sell it to me a little bit more, because from what I'm seeing with the gameplay, it looks fun, it looks colorful, but it has this whole like wacky and zany kind of eccentric value to it. But is there anything beneath that? You know, like you're essentially giving me a cake, and the frosting is really good. Like frosting's pretty damn good, but is there shit in the cake, or is there chocolate or vanilla in it? Is it a marble cake? I don't know what's inside of it. Like, is there anything beneath the wacky and zany aesthetic? That's the word I was trying to think of before. Is there anything beneath that? Like, is it all style, or is there actually some substance there? That's the big thing. This game is also going to have a day one release. It's going to have a day one edition, like Rise, Forza 5, and Dead Rising 3 had when the Xbox One first came out last November. And a sore spot with that is, like, if I can go off on a sidetrack just for a minute, the day one content that was in the day one editions of Rise, Forza 5, and Dead Rising 3 still aren't available on the Xbox Store. That kind of sucks. I actually sent a tweet to Xbox support about this, and they said the content, the only way to get it is to buy a day one edition of the game. So, like, if you find a used copy on eBay or Amazon or whatever, most likely those codes are going to be used, since the only thing that really made it different, other than the cover having a more like black and white look to it, a more like holographic, like a hologram kind of, you know what I'm trying to say. The thing that changes color based on the light it's looking at, whatever that is. But anyway, I'm just trying to get through these notes. Yeah, the only way to get that content is to buy a day one edition. So you got to go online and you got to buy a marked up, a marked up copy of it that hopefully has never been opened to get that content. And that sucks. Like, why not sell it for separate on the store? I don't get it. And that's one reason why I haven't bought those games yet, because I want to get the full experience. I'm the type of person who's a completionist, and I like to be immersed in any game I'm playing, and I like to have everything that's with the game, or meant to be with the game, so I have the complete experience. So that kind of sucks, but yeah, that's getting the day one treatment too. I might buy it, I might not, I don't know. I barely have enough time to play what I have here, so I might have to wait on it. Then, speaking of Dead Rising 3, DLC is announced by Capcom. I love this title, Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition DX Plus Alpha. I would say Capcom knows their audience, but then we get another fucking Mega Man game. And my Mighty No. 9 can't come out soon enough. All I had to see was Mike Hagar pile driving a bitch. That's always awesome. I love Final Fight. It's one of the first Super Nintendo games I played. I can't tell you how many times I beat Final Fight. But essentially what this is Capcom just dropped like literally like 100 Capcom characters out of all their franchises into Dead Rising 3 and Pandemonium Erupts. So pretty cool. If you have Dead Rising 3, I definitely get it, but it's kind of cool to see. It was funny. Then we go back to Snoozeville. Dance Central Spotlight comes out this September. It's an exclusive digital-only release for Xbox One. There was also a passing comment saying Disney Fantasia Music Evolved is coming out this fall as well. So if you want to get your, groove on in front of the Kinect, those are coming out this fall. Fable Legends was announced, multiple heroes, another emphasis on co-op, similar to Assassin's Creed Unity. In this one, though, they showed like an overhead area where you can actually be a villain and set traps for the heroes, but, if I wanted to play a shitty version of Dungeon Keeper, I'd just go play Dungeon Keeper again. Post-conference details for this one say you can also play single-player with the other three heroes being AI opponents, so that would be good as long as the AI is decent. It takes place 400 years before the first game. Gameplay, thankfully, looks a lot like Fable, for better or for worse. The footage they showed in the conference made it look like some cartoony fucking World of Warcraft ripoff, and we all know how World of Warcraft ripoffs end up. You know what I mean? So, I don't really care for Fable that much. I tried to play Fable 3, and that game fucking blew chunks like you couldn't believe. I maybe got like 5 or 6 hours into Fable 3. I just didn't get it. And, you know, actually charging people extra money for a black clothing guy didn't help matters either. But, let's see. Oh, Project Spark. You probably know where this is going. They showed what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think today. They showed a more expanded trailer of Project Spark than they showed last year. And at the end of it, Conker appears. Like they showed the logo Project Spark at the end of it. And Conker comes out with a chainsaw and saws the fucking logo right in half. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. So we're getting the new Conker game, right? Well, Conker's like, well, I haven't had a game in 10 years, and it's time, I guess we made a new one. And it basically alluded to you're getting Conker assets in Project Spark, so you can make a new Conker game because, hey, we got all the Rare games. You remember the great Rare franchises like we do, right? You remember those? Yeah, you want those? Oh, fuck you. You're not getting those. So you can enjoy overpriced Conker assets in Project Spark. What a dick move that was. What a fucking waste of bringing Conker back. Like, really, like, I know at this point, like, probably far beyond this point, that anyone at Rare that made any games worth giving a shit about is not at Rare anymore, and Rare is Rare in name only at Microsoft. You know, I can only picture some like unpaid interns, like Rare is like in the basement and they're all in fucking gimp suits or some shit, like hacking away at some, you know, more Kinect shovelware that they've been making. But man, like, yeah, Rare's pretty much done. Rare's like a distant memory in the days of retro gaming now. It's sad, you know, and they just had to twist that knife just a little bit more. Assholes. I hope whoever made that fucking announcement, I want to kidnap them and take them to a fucking storage unit somewhere and tie him to a fucking chair and make him shit into a shovel, and then I want to take the shovel and I'll make him fucking choke on his own shit. Like, you don't do that, man. Like, despicable. Then we go to Ori and the Blind Forest. That looks pretty cool. It had a UbiArt vibe to it, like the Rayman games, or the more recent Rayman games, excuse me, Child of Light, the recently released Valiant Hearts. So that looks pretty cool. That was actually the most intriguing thing I saw in this entire conference, personally. Then we go right to Halo. You knew Halo was coming. Halo 5 Guardians, they talked about that a little bit. Yeah, the subtitle's Guardians. It's about Master Chief's personal journey or whatever. You're going to do yoga and piloxing with Master Chief. I don't fucking know. But then they made a slightly more interesting announcement. November 11th, the Halo Master Chief Collection drops. Halo 1 through 4, no side quests, so no ODST, no Halo Reach. No Halo Wars, no aforementioned the Halo Spartan Assault, that's not included, just straight 1 through 4, just the main numbered titles in the series. Over 100 multiplayer maps total in all of the games, 1080p at 60 frames per second for each game they're claiming. I fucking hope so, because these are all old games. It's an HD remaster collection. Ships with 4,000 gamer score. So now we're in a time where gamer score is a bullet point on the back of the case for selling your game. Yeah, we're in a brave new world, gamers. God, I miss the old days. Halo 5 Guardians beta starts this December. That's included in this collection. All the games will be on one Blu-ray disc, so it will share the same interface seamlessly throughout all the games. All the campaign levels will be unlocked from the start of each game. So it's assuming you've played through all of these games, which, you know, I don't know who would buy this and not go back and play the previous entries in the series, but whatever. Halo 2 will be able to be switched instantly from the original 2004 graphics to the new anniversary graphics. So it's getting the anniversary treatment just like the first game did. I've read a lot of mixed reviews about the anniversary treatment. And that's interesting to me because the only Halo I actually played all the way through was the very first one on the original Xbox. Could there be Halo gameplay? Could there be Halo reviews on my channel in the future? You never know. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, I'm not the biggest Halo fan. It's alright, but I think it's overrated for the most part. But we'll talk more about Halo soon, I'm sure. One more thing about Halo. Halo Nightfall was announced. It's an official digital miniseries by the one and only Ridley Scott of Alien and Gladiator fame. If you also watched Robin Hood with Russell Crowe, that's a fucking boss movie. It's supposed to be part of the Master Chief Collection as a set of short stories that ties together what happened in the first 4 games to Halo 5. So between Halo 4 and Halo 5, that's where Nightfall is going to take place. So nice of them to include it in the collection, I guess. The indie reel shown some really cool stuff. Standouts to me included a more thorough look at Below that they showed a snippet of last year. And Mighty Number 9 gameplay that's admittedly been up on the internet, but it's really nice to see it again. It just makes me want to play Mighty Number 9 even more. New Tomb Raider is introduced, like another ho-hum David Cage game. They showed the trailer right after the indie reel, where there's like a psychiatrist talking to this woman in a hood. And I thought, like, oh great, the last thing the Xbox One needs right now is Heavy fucking Rain 2, you know what I mean? But it turns out it's Rise of the Tomb Raider. I don't know about that title. Holiday 2015, no big surprise there. That's another common thing you're going to see throughout this conference. And it just makes me, like, Rise of the Tomb Raider just makes me think of Rise of the Triad. You know? Makes me want to just go back and play that again for, like, the 5th time. You know? So, if your game title starts out with Rise and it doesn't end with Triad, I really don't give much of a shit. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt gameplay looks cool. Out of, like, all the open-ended games like Two Worlds and Dragon Age and the Elder Scrolls games, Witcher, like, that's the one that grabs my interest the most. This game looks really, really fun. I haven't played any of the Witcher games. I have to. Like I was saying before, that's going to be a common theme. Ken Lobb, industry veteran, comes out, talks about his career a little bit in Killer Instinct. TJ Combo is back. I think it's already been released. He kicks off Killer Instinct Season 2. And, then he drops the latest bombshell, Phantom Dust. What? I haven't played Phantom Dust. You may see Phantom Dust soon, too, in a Mantra review. Maybe. Never know. I'm so convincing, right? Phantom Dust, I thought it was like Phantom Dust 2. I have it written here as Phantom Dust 2, exclusive to the Xbox One, of course. But then there was a tweet later on their account that kind of took the wind out of the sails of this announcement. It's going to be a remake. Like, I don't know why it would be so hard to make a Phantom Dust 2, but this is basically, it's a remaster of the first game. So I don't know if it's going to be part of the first game with new elements. I don't know if it's going to be a straight up, HD remake or HD re-release or what the hell's going on. So that, it was cool at least to see that, I guess. The Division is shown a little bit by Massive Entertainment. New content first on the Xbox One. The game looks pretty cool. Comes out in 2015, no surprise there. It's a third-person shooter that's being billed as an MMO, so heavy emphasis on multiplayer in that one. It does look interesting though, and it has an interesting story, which I'll get into with my Ubisoft notes. But yeah, new content first on the Xbox One. I'm seeing a trend where there's a diminishing amount of console exclusives, and really the only things that are being exclusive now is, well, you get to play DLC on this game 2 months before you get to play it on the other systems, and somehow that's, shoved to us in marketing speak as exclusive content. That doesn't really mean anything anymore if it's excuse me, if it's going to be on all the other consoles sooner rather than later. So more corporate jargon and bullshit. Then Scalebound is announced by Platinum Games. A lot of people got pissed off about this. Apparently, Platinum Games is in everybody's back pocket, and they get to decide what games they make and what they don't. And the thing with Platinum Games is they're basically a game developer for hire. They're going to make games they want to make for platforms that basically give them the most money. So if you got the highest dollar and you got a really good system, then Platinum Games will make it for you. Scalebound looks alright. This was like a 30-second maybe CG trailer, so I didn't really see a whole lot. You got this Dante or Nero looking motherfucker who puts on like these Beat headphones. I'm sure everyone's seen it, and he gets like this golem type armor suit, and there's like two huge monsters like beating the shit out of each other and stuff. It looks promising, but I want to see more stuff. I want a release date. I want gameplay footage. I want exactly what features are going to be in the game. Like, how is it different from other third-person, kind of hack and slashy third-person games like God of War, Devil May Cry, stuff like that. So we'll see. But the thing I love most about it is how people on the internet got upset about it. Like, Platinum can't make a fucking Xbox game. Like, come on. Then finally, to end the conference, Crackdown is back and exclusive. This was also billed later on after the conference as another reboot or another remake or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like, damn it. Like, I'm so pissed off that there can't be at least sequels or God forbid something new. I know I say that enough, but at least a sequel to like move the universe or the previous entries in the series, like the storyline that was established in those entries, like move it a little bit forward. I mean, it's not going to be that much different if it's a sequel to the first game. Just take what the first game did and make it better. That's the main job of a sequel. But I mean, like, on one hand, I'm pissed off that it's happening, but on the other hand, I know exactly why it's happening, and that's because the entertainment industry nowadays has projects so over-bloated financially that they can't take a chance on anything that isn't a sure thing. That's why we keep seeing Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Madden and shit like that, because they know it'll make money. And really, I'm just sitting back and I'm waiting, because this trend is just going to get worse, believe me. I'm sitting here waiting for the, inevitable collapse of the entertainment industry, where, it just like fucking just caves in on itself. It's going to happen eventually. Like, really, sometimes I think what we need is another video game crash. Let's get rid of all this fucking bullshit, this infrastructure, and the way things are run right now. Let it crumble, and someone will come along, just like Nintendo did in the 80s, and they'll pick everything up from the ashes, and we will, start from scratch. Maybe that's what we need. Fucking reboots, man. Like, make something new. Like, how hard is it? Stupid. But yeah, that was Microsoft. Phil Spencer's just getting warmed up, it seems like. And like I said before, if he keeps up this trend and listens to feedback and pleases the fans, Xbox has a great future. So I will move on to EA and Ubisoft here. Yeah, I got about 12 pages of notes here, so I'm going to try and skim through them as fast as I can. So I will take just a couple minutes. I'm going to stop this video. Thank you for watching, and I will record the next section. See you there.